Yeah.
I don't think you need your sunglasses at night.
Okay guys, welcome to our new real estate office.
Hey everyone, it's Meghan Noe, Yucatan Living, your trusted bilingual realtors down here in Merida, Yucatan, Mexico.
Powered by EXP, guys.
That's right. Today, we're going to talk about the beach zone of Merida. You may think, but Merida is not on the coast. Or you may think, I think Merida is on the coast. It is not. It is 30 to 40 minutes inland from the Gulf of Mexico. This is not always something everybody realizes because there are so many gorgeous pockets of beach and gorgeous beach properties available that are coded as Merida in terms of searchability.
It's just like Galveston to Houston, guys, or the Hamptons to New York City.
It is where everybody goes to play, all summer long, all winter long, depending on where you come from. But what's most important is realizing that not every beach town adjacent to Merida is created equal. There are different towns, up to maybe 12 of them, that would be considered part of the Costa Esmeralda or the Costa Yucateca. And it's also super important to note that these towns are not like those that you would see over in Quintana Roo. These are not full of big, extravagant resorts. These are small, residential, oftentimes fishing villages, and they're on the verge of something when it comes to growth in real estate.
This market is different, guys, from others, and I know you've been in other beach towns just like Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Huatulco, Cancun, Tulum. There's so many places around, all around the Mexican coast. But this place is very special, guys. It's very special because it's in this real estate curve where the right investments can be done today and you will reap the benefits that after.
If you've been considering buying a property in Merida proper or one of the beach towns that we're going to be exploring today, the time to hesitate is through. Make sure to go down below. There is a direct link in the description of this video that will take you directly to sending us a WhatsApp note, and we can connect and book a free consultation where we review your plans, your budget, your investment goals, and we determine which area of Yucatan makes the most sense for you, and then we find you the right property.
If you don't like WhatsApp, you can give us a phone call or just send us an email or log in our website, or I don't know, there's so many ways to contact us. We use all social media platforms, guys, and don't hesitate to contact us.
Yes, the time to hesitate is through. The moment to invest in Yucatan is now. We're always talking about Yucatan being sort of the last great frontier in Mexican real estate, and nothing is going to exemplify that than our chat today about Merida's northern beach towns.
I am so excited, guys, about this video because Merida has a lot of to offer, guys. It's not only the city, it's not only its neighborhoods. So Merida is not only about the city, guys. In a 1 hour-ish radius, we can find a lot of different atmospheres in this beautiful peninsula, such as magic towns, ruins. But this time we're gonna talk about only the beach towns. The magic towns is for episode 3. Stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But yes, today the focus is on the beach because most people actually have this misconception that Merida is located on the beach. And I think one of the reasons for that is because of the super close proximity between the city and the coastline, and the fact that a lot of Meridinos and foreign investors here own properties both in the city and on the coast so that they can enjoy the full gamut of lifestyle year round, or maybe they have an income property in one location or the other and they rotate through based on where they want to be located during the year.
Yeah, as you guys know, that's the perfect lifestyle of the locals here. You live in Merida for a season and then you go to beach towns during normally the summer. July, August, people just drive and spend time there. Why? Because it's cooler. It's beautiful.
Cooler temperature wise. Yeah, so the beauty of Merida and the Costa Yucateca is that it has a double rental season. That means that during the winter, foreign snowbirds love to come and spend their time down here on the coast, and in the summer, Mexicans from other parts of Mexico and locals alike all flock to the beach because the temperatures are cooler. What's important to understand here is a little bit of the geography and the lay of the land. So Merida is the economic hub of Yucatan. This is where everyday life, business centers, huge infrastructure injections are happening right now, and the growth zone is expanding on the regular. The north of Merida is seeing zones of huge investment and the growth is noticeable. You see week by week, oh wow, this construction project is further along, and oh wow, this building is completed, this one's sold down, etc. But today we're going to talk about the beach towns. The one that is right for you may not be the one that is right for your best friend Joe, Why is that? Because there are certain criteria that make investing in a beach town appropriate for one person that may not be suited to another. Not every beach town is super rentable. Not everyone knows about all the beach towns first and foremost, and not every single beach town appreciates as quickly as the other. There are zones where investing today will pay you a dividend in the next couple of years, and then there are other zones where it's going to be a much longer term investment that reaps those rewards.
Okay, we have to understand that we live in a peninsula. A peninsula is like Florida, you know, or other peninsula. We are surrounded by a body of water. So
On three sides.
On three sides. So we are investors and we have properties in the beach too. Okay, as you know, we live in Merida, but we have been placing our investments in different beach towns. Okay guys, so we can start with the well-renowned beach town of Progreso. Why everyone knows Progreso?
Because it has one of the world's longest piers. It is one of the biggest hubs of importation, exportation, and also receiving cruise ships in Mexico.
Yeah, it's
Puerto Progreso.
Puerto Progreso. It's just 25-30 minutes away from Merida. Obviously, depends where exactly Merida, but it's a very easy drive. There's this
brand new multi-lane highway, smooth, straight line directly into Puerto Progreso. So to know that on the west side of Progreso is a functional port, still shipping, receiving enormous shipments of goods that now are going to be connected with train system that will be taking them across the peninsula over to the other coast. So it is a very busy hub for importation and exportation. It's also a very busy hub for tourists and those looking for a more lively lifestyle. It has an international malecón, it has a beautiful stretch of beach, it has nice restaurants, bars.
The museum of the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs.
It's true. So there's a lot of hustle and bustle that happens in Progreso that a lot of the other beach towns don't have. So this is a pro or a con, depending on the lifestyle that you're looking for.
I will say it's the equivalent of Centro for Mérida.
It's the busiest part. So yes, if we're comparing apples to apples, yes, it would be the equivalent of Centro. It is the heart of most of the action when it comes to the beach towns. And if somebody's looking for nightlife or activities, Progreso is probably where they're going to head, unless there's another little beach bar somewhere else down the coast. But for the moment, let's focus on Progreso. In terms of rentability, in terms of resale in a quicker time frame, Progreso is a place that most people would want to look at if they weren't interested in a longer term investment or they wanted to prioritize liquidity in their investment and being able to find that return or resale within a relatively short period of time.
We will say the only thing there is that there's not too many options for sale, maybe. I don't see.
It's more of a resale market, that's for sure. It's more about buying a small existing house, doing a renovation, this type of thing. There are not major condo projects that are happening in the heart of Progreso at this moment. And you know, that's kind of a pro in its own right. It's really important to understand, guys, that none of these towns are resort towns. None of these are ever going to have a Ryu style hotel pop up. It's more about shifting from single family dwellings to multi-family dwellings. And that's where there's opportunities for investors today. Also, in buying a single family dwelling, doing a renovation, and perhaps reselling that. Although flips are getting tighter and tighter on the margins because construction costs do go up and there can be unforeseen issues when it comes to doing a construction project if you are not bilingual, if you don't have those connections to keep the budget tight and keep the schedules on time.
It's an area that also has restaurants, some restaurants, bars. So yeah, it's busy, it's very well known by everyone because it's a port. It's one of the main Mexican ports and it's the closest beach town to Mérida.
If you're not into nightlife, you're not into hustle and bustle, you may not want to be looking at Progreso because there are those cruise ship days. As you know, when you live in a place where cruise ships are coming in, the population deviates and expands basically double on that day. So it can become very busy in the core. And so if you're just trying to do your grocery shopping, but it's a cruise ship day, that can be a little bit inconvenient.
It's a touristy area.
Yeah. So if tourism is the focus, if you want a rental, if you want something that you can use for a few weeks of the year, but most of the time it's going to be used by other people, Progreso can make a lot of sense.
And the latest on that area is that a new Walmart is just got launched a few days ago.
It's true. And all of those grocery stores that are in Progreso, honestly, a lot of residents that live in the beach towns on either side of it are using those grocery stores, of which there have been many new ones installed over the last couple of years. It's a zone where growth has been happening at a rapid rate for the last probably 5-6 years now. So in terms of commercial accessibility, Progreso is where it's at.
And now, guys, we go to the west.
Okay.
To Chelem and Chuburná, Puerto.
If you have been a long-time viewer of this channel, you've probably seen a lot of properties that we've had in Chelem and some new ones coming up in Chuburná. These are really wonderful, quiet, residential beach towns that can be enjoyed year-round by locals alike and investors. So there's a lot of potential in these zones, and I think if you're willing to invest a little bit of money into a property in Chelem or Chuburná, that's a place you will be able to reap the rewards in a shorter term than one of the beach towns that would be further afield. Let's focus for the moment on Chelem, and then we'll move on to the west to Chuburná.
Chelem is known for having a lot of expats investing in there. There's new beach clubs, there's new restaurants, so the place is growing for sure, and it's just a few minutes drive from Progreso. And they even have this beautiful main square where the people practice sports, etc. Yeah, so it's a place where a lot of retirees prefer to stay because it doesn't have this bustle and hustle.
Hustle and bustle.
Hustle and bustle that Progreso has. So is that way. You find more pre-sales there. There's bigger projects.
It's a quiet residential lifestyle. That is the bottom line about Chelem. There is a presence of expats that come in seasonally in the winter, and there's, as Noe mentioned, restaurants and bars where there is social activity, etc. But they're kind of it's very quaint. They're on like a weekly schedule of, on Monday night this restaurant does this activity, on Tuesday night this happens over here, on Wednesday night we have this fun activity in the main square, this type of thing. And there is this really nice blend of foreigners and locals alike coexisting in what used to be a fishing village and it now has some really amazing real estate and some up-and-coming real estate opportunities in the form of villas, townhouses that can take advantage of that slow-paced coastal living that still exists there in Chelem.
And then we go to Chuburná, Puerto, guys. It's next to Chelem, as you can see in this map. A very beautiful place too, with I can say the beach is better on that side, and there's other properties we represent there and promote. It's known because it has the island of swing, the beautiful Dunes Beach, or Las Dunas, that you can see here. So it has a couple of very good attractions in the area, I will say. Very attractive for the people who love that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's next to these wonders of nature.
Yeah, for me, Chuburná is one of the most interesting zones and beach towns in this area right now. For those nature lovers looking for a tranquil walk on the beach in the morning, etc., Chuburná is a place that you should be interested in. And for those with a longer term goal when it comes to their real estate investment, that have the time for this asset to appreciate, Chuburná is one that is behind some of the further developed towns, but the growth potential is exponential and it's starting to catch on. It's also worth mentioning that Chelem and Chuburná have lower entry points on their real estate than a Progreso would have, or some of the other more luxurious beach towns that we're going to get to on the east side of things coming up in this video.
There's more land.
Yeah, actually, if you look at the map, you'll notice that most of these beach towns are actually running on a spit, which is protected by mangrove on the backside, on the Merida side, and then the Gulf of Mexico is in front on the north side. And so what's interesting is the deviations in the width of this spit offer different types of real estate and a different layout for the various towns. So not all towns are created equally in so many ways, and the actual natural geography dictates that in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and now we continue our journey to these west beach towns of Mérida and Sisal. Sisal is awarded as a magic town.
Sisal is beautiful. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But this is a long-term play if you're going to be investing. And some may think that the Pueblo Mágico designation makes it a hot spot for rentals, but truth be told, it's a little bit off the beaten path at this point, as is its neighboring town, Celestún. Both of these locations have beautiful stretches of beach, Sisal is undeniably one of the best beaches. When it comes to a picturesque, you know, what you're envisioning in your mind as a beautiful Mexican beach, Sisal is there 100%. And for me, the town is super charming, laid back, peaceful, picturesque. But when it comes to an investment, this is something that is definitely going to be a longer play than one of the more popular towns that's on the east side of Progreso. So Sisal is for those that have more years to play with, or those who are looking to enjoy a property themselves. That rental income, I'm not sure it's coming to fruition in Sisal the way some people may think, and the same thing applies to Celestún. Although Celestún has some of the most incredible natural wonders of Yucatan. It's a flamingo sanctuary. There's so many opportunities for ecotourism there when it comes to exploring their mangroves, the crocodiles, which I personally would like to avoid at all costs, but absolutely beautiful when it comes to the natural elements of Yucatan. So Sisal and Celestún, off the beaten path, maybe not as popular when it comes to rentals, except for those people that are particularly seeking it out. But for those looking for a slice of paradise, a little beach house to call their own, or an investment that's going to pay off in the future years, like a 10 to 20 year type of investment, these are great options. And the price points are still super, super reasonable.
Yeah. Okay, guys, and now we go to the east.
Yes, let's fly back over Progreso and go to the east, where we will come up against Chicxulub, Puerto.
Guys, this beach town is actually part of the Progreso municipality, but it's a beach town of its own.
This is an established residential market. There are people that live there full-time, or people that use their property seasonally in this zone. It's very attractive to families because it still has this very, you know, residential, rustic feel, but it's close to amenities and services. And it really has a nice mix, just like Chelem does, of foreigners and locals alike.
Plus, you can find very nice homes to spend time in that place. And also it's known because it has a supermarket named My Supermarket that you can see here.
My Marketplace.
My Marketplace that you can see here. And yeah, it's very convenient. It's very convenient. There's a lot of data planning behind those stores, supermarkets, convenience stores. So the area is growing for sure, and it has a lot of action with pre-sales.
There are market indicators in place in Chicxulub, Puerto that indicate that it's going to be a major growth zone in the years to come. It's very evident as you drive through the zone. I don't know if you guys remember Costera Condos, which was one of our most popular products maybe 2 years ago. It's a perfect example of the modernization that is going to be happening in the Chicxulub Puerto zone. And it's perfect for those who just don't want to be too far away from the everyday conveniences. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump from Progreso. And you can also go further east to Telchac, Puerto, or come all the way back into Merida if you want to have, I don't know, Texas Roadhouse or whatever it is that you have a hankering for. So Chicxulub Puerto is one to watch, and it's one where we continually have offerings coming to market at still a very reasonable and nice price point.
And it's known because the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs hit there, guys. So the ocean looks like a very beautiful lake, like a mirror, you know, and it's very shallow. So it's very interesting. And also they have this small amusement park for kids that is all about dinosaurs, and yeah, it's cute. And also it has El Corchito, which is the island of raccoons, guys. So it also has its unique amenities around the area.
Yeah, I would say those are more categorized by tourist attractions rather than amenities, but it has a little of everything. And like we mentioned, for families, it's a great zone. On the east side of Chicxulub, Puerto, that's where some very, very interesting projects are coming to market. And as you push further east, you come up to some of the most beautiful stretches of beach, in my personal opinion, which would be San Bruno and San Benito.
Yeah, Megan is correct. Those are one of the most beautiful beach stretches we ever seen in the Merida beach towns. We represent a lot of projects around the area, and a lot of them high-end. So for the ones interested in like living in penthouses, towers.
San Benito has sort of become known as a well-established condo corridor, and so there are many great options, Nahau being one of them that we represent, where you can own a beautiful 4-bedroom condo with great finishes, with direct beach access to one of the most beautiful stretches of beach that Yucatan has to offer. And you're still not too far out to head back into town and grab your groceries and this kind of thing. Yeah, San Benito is one to watch, absolutely. The one thing that you need to be aware of, and this is where we'll always shoot very straight with you guys, is keeping an eye on those HOA fees and the way that buildings are run, because this is a serious consideration when buying a multi-family project. You need to keep an eye on the bottom lines if you believe that this is going to be a successful rental for yourself, or you just want to watch your numbers on your investment, obviously. I would always recommend strongly working with a building or investing in a building where the HOA is run by a third-party external property manager.
And not the neighbors. Not the neighbors.
Yeah, no offense to those who are trying to run the HOA as a neighbor's team, but I've seen and heard of many interesting tales of how that goes. So certainly you want to be aware of those details when you're making an investment. And again, that's why I think working with somebody like us who know the lay of the land, who do that due diligence on the back end for you ahead of time can be really valuable. So guys, if you've been toying with the idea, or even if you have your eyes set on a condo in the market right now, don't hesitate to reach out. Again, there's a direct link down in the description, and make sure that we have a chat about it. Even if we're not going to be working together on it, we will love to share some insights that we may or may not know about what you're looking at, and make sure that you're avoiding those common pitfalls that sometimes people fall into.
Yeah, and now we can continue to Telchac Puerto, guys. Telchac Puerto, another beautiful beach town with nice seafood, a lot of action with pre-sales that we represent, obviously, and it's known because of its marina canoe is something very special there.
This is one section of Yucatan's coastline where you will see high-rise developments happening, and this is because of Marina Canoe and the money that it's brought into the zone. It really put Telchac on the radar of some serious investors, of some people with some serious yachts, and it has put Telchac into a league of its own, I would say, when it comes to luxury high-end buys. That is not to say that you still can't find a steal of a deal. And Telchac town itself is one of the most charming, in my opinion. Absolutely splendid to go have a lunch there and take in the beach. But for those who are looking for a high-end investment, Telchac is undoubtedly one of your best options here. And you know, there's people sinking some serious capital into this zone, and so it's a major growth zone and will prosper much faster than some of the quieter towns on the Yucatan coast. Okay, next beach town to the east is San Crisanto. Shouldn't play favorites, but it is definitely one of my favorites.
It's getting a lot of action, guys. There's a lot of condo projects happening in that area. So
there might be one incredibly amazing one coming to market early in the new year. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you're a beach investor. But what is amazing about San Crisanto is this is an eco-tourism destination.
Yeah, it has very beautiful trips inside the jungle to watch the nature and all the animals around. I've been there, it's beautiful. And also there's very good local restaurants, and it's very quiet. It has beautiful palm trees everywhere. They even have a coconut fest. So yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting place.
For those investors who are interested in having a piece of land inside a privada, there's some great options in the San Crisanto area, very close to the beach, not on the beach, but just on the other side of the mangrove. And actually, when it comes to maintenance costs, that keeps things down substantially. And so for those looking for a long-term growth potential, San Crisanto is at the top of my list. It's a zone to watch for the next, I would say, 5 to 15 years. There's going to be some incredible changes and growths. There's going to be some incredible changes and growth that happens in this zone. Inside most of these master plan communities, there's going to be very interesting commercial amenities and zones, and this growth is going to be across the zone. So therefore, you know, your favorite restaurant may be over in this neighborhood or that neighborhood, etc. But with the growth of the residential is coming the commercial, and the forecasting in that area is serious.
So this beach town has a long-term vision in a lot of aspects.
Is a long-term projection zone. We always want to be very transparent about that. San Crisanto is not going to boom in the next 2 years, let's put it that way. It's going to maintain its hippie chic, bohemian vibe in the town center, and that growth is more long range. So for those looking for high yield rentals or buying a piece of land today and selling it in 2 years, no, this is not the right zone. San Crisanto is not it for you. But if you're planning for your retirement, if you're looking ahead for a property that's going to be built over the next few years,
and good prices.
Yeah, exactly. Accessibility is what is super important in the San Crisanto zone. And also, it's just an absolutely beautiful place to commune with nature and be immersed in all that Yucatan has to offer in terms of its beauty.
Yeah, and it also has a couple of very cool and big beach clubs.
True. Never met a beach club I didn't like.
Okay guys, now we go further and we are in Santa Clara. Santa Clara, I will say, is
it's the city limit when it comes to the east side.
yeah, it's the city limit. Is one of the furthest beach towns in there. It's beautiful, has its unique thing. It has a restaurant with crocs. It has a restaurant with a pond with crocs just across the street.
Or at least one croc. We know there's one.
It's interesting. And there's a few projects happening there. And then if we continue further, we end up in El Cuyo, which is the furthest beach town of this state. It's literally next to Quintana Roo. But those places are still in ruralish kind of growth mode. So I will say infrastructure is not as advanced to the other beach towns that are close to Mérida.
They're a bit more remote. And so when it comes to the infrastructure advancements, etc., yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on
being far away.
Yeah, I believe that accessibility to the city is an important element when it comes to any sort of investment, whether it's for yourself, for a rental, and whether it's for short-term or long-term. What's really important to note is that in any of these locations, other than Progreso or Chelem, I think you're going to need a vehicle of your own to live a comfortable and easy lifestyle. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. There's still not a big transportation system all along the coastline. There's a few buses, but it's just more convenient and easier to rent your own car to explore all beach towns, or stick with one, or just do your groceries, go to Mérida. We have to explain that every single beach town, if you make a 10-minute drive inland, there's always a pueblo or a town that is and sometimes even has the same name, but they don't have the last name, that is Puerto. So for example, Chicxulub has Chicxulub Puerto, Chicxulub Pueblo, Telchac Puerto, Telchac Pueblo, and there's some other examples like that. So yeah, and we have to explain that all the driving from the beach towns to Mérida and the other way around, there's no pay tolls, there's very good highways. So yeah, when you're driving, you will see all these flamingos all along the coast. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's easy enough to get around in your own vehicle, but if you were trying to do it through colectivos or buses, except for Progreso and Chelem, I think you would have a pretty difficult time getting from point A to point B in a comfortable, timely manner. I think you'd be frustrated by the way that the transportation services work. So just want to keep it real on that front. Whether you're trying to run a rental or you want to enjoy the town yourself, it's important to know about how you are going to get yourself there or your renters there. And the truth of the matter is, a vehicle is going to make life a lot easier in both those scenarios.
So which beach town is the best one? It depends on your lifestyle and your goals and needs. Mm-hmm. If you are a first-time buyer, if you want to retire down here, if you are just an investor, if you're planning to live 50-50, if you like nightclubs, if you like just stay away from everything and stay in a more laid-back, quiet area, it depends on your goals. And that's why you have to contact us for a free consultancy, so we can narrow things down properly and assist you to find the right property for you. But yeah, that's one important thing to say.
The more we understand your goals, the more we can help steer you in the right direction or narrow things down to a couple different options. And then from there, we can help you find the right property, whether that's going to be a new construction build, an apartment, or a standalone home somewhere in a secluded beach town. Whatever it is that you think is the right plan for you, let's talk it through and make sure that we're all in alignment when it comes to your goals and the reality of life on the coast of Yucatan. Okay, so bottom line is, if you're thinking about buying a piece of paradise on the coast of Yucateca, you need to reach out to us and let's have a deeper conversation to help you avoid all those common mistakes and pitfalls that foreign buyers can sometimes fall into.
We only work with reputable companies, guys, with reputable construction companies, builders, and master brokers. So that's important to know.
We're here to support you, guide you, and help you secure your property legally and pain-free. Avoid the headaches and the heartbreaks.
And I want you guys to take a note on this. The Merida's beach towns is still a place where you can buy a nice home under 300,000 USD.
It's true. If you had the opportunity to hop into a time machine and buy in Los Cabos back in the 1990s, your pocketbook would be thanking you today when you went to do a resale on that. And that's kind of what Yucatan is still offering, is this pricing scheme or this pricing level where investors can invest a certain amount today, and you know that in X number of years, or we know that in X number of years, the projection is looking like X, Y, and Z. So let's have a deeper conversation about those timelines and those goals and help play matchmaker and find you the right investment.
Remember, we've got everything in our inventory, guys, from ready to move properties to pre-sales that are
on price list zero,
or paid with easy payments. And when I say easy payments, are where you pay a small down payment and monthly installments, and then balance upon delivery. All that stuff is zero interest. So just contact those guys.
Yeah, we have a little bit of everything for every investor profile, every family that's thinking about a relocation, or just making the best of the winter months. When you're from a cold climate, you might want to have a tropical escape during those months, and I don't blame you. So
the moment is now, guys, for investing in this market, but it still don't reach that point as other Mexican beach towns, like we said at the beginning, like Los Cabos, like Cabo, PV, Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, where the pricing is just ridiculous on those places. And no, this place is still affordable.
It's true. You don't need $500,000 to own something beautiful and lovable here. So.
And I want to add, guys, that being close to a city is so important, guys, for services, for hospitals, for schools, for supermarkets, for a bunch of services. And to conclude, guys, we want to say that all these beach towns have an easy access to Mérida City, the safest city in the Americas, guys.
Yeah, so for all your conveniences of life, within 1 hour radius, all of those beach towns will get you directly back into Mérida proper, which is the capital of Yucatan. So whether you need, medical consultations, big box stores for, patio furniture, or stocking up at Costco, easy access into Mérida is possible in all of these gorgeous pueblos. And yeah, life doesn't get easier than that. It's not like you're out in the middle of nowhere. Within an hour, you're back in the metropolis of Mérida.
Okay, guys, this is Meghan Noe, Yucatan Living, your trusted bilingual realtors in Mérida, Yucatan, Mexico. Powered by EXP Realty, guys.
That's it for today. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we will keep you up to date on all the happenings down here in Mérida and on the coast of Yucatán. Until next time, hasta luego.
See you soon, guys.